Hey there guys, Ducktaculous Gaming here, and this is going to be my new series. As you can see, there's some Call of Duty Black Ops 2 playing in the background. Now, I didn't do the best, but I'd say it's probably a decent entertaining video to watch for you guys. It was just free for all, just playing around. Definitely not my best game, but hopefully you guys enjoy it. It kind of picks up towards the end, so yeah, just so you guys know. Anyways, this is my new series. And what I'm going to be doing basically in this series is answer some cool questions, like talk about some interesting topics, and basically just interact with my YouTube or with my subscribers from YouTube, and that's basically what this series consists of. So I asked on Twitter what for some questions, and I got a few questions actually, but I've decided to go with the question, what was your closest to death experience? Now, I haven't had any extremely crazy, like, almost death experiences, like I was never held at gunpoint or anything like that, but I do have 3 stories for you, so here's the first one. Let me just get started. Well, the first one, actually, I was living in Florida, and I was fishing with my older brother and my dad, and we were just on the dock having a good time. It was kind of cloudy out. It was really warm. Just, you know, Florida's always warm, so I mean, of course it was always warm, or of course it was warm. But we were not really smart, being, you know, the Canadians that we are, and there was lightning in the distance. We saw it, but we just didn't think that really, like, we didn't think the lightning would come close to us. You know, if you count, like, if you can, once you see the lightning, you count, like, and then once you hear the thunder, that's how many miles away it is, if you guys know what I'm talking about. Like, I think we saw the lightning and we counted, and it was like 30 miles away, like, when we saw the lightning. So we were like, oh, we're good, we can keep on fishing. Now, we had caught like a few little fish just to use as bait, and we'd put them in a bucket with water, and they worked great for bait. But basically what happened, why I'm telling you guys that part, is because all of a sudden I heard like the loudest noise that I've ever heard in my entire life, and my head was like, my ears were ringing. I was just like super confused, and we like just about got hit by lightning. Like lightning struck the water, and it was just like feet away. It was absolutely crazy. And why I mentioned the fish in that bucket is because right after like the lightning struck, we were just like packing everything up and just we're gonna like run to the car and just get out of there. So right after lightning struck, I grabbed that bucket and to put the fish back into the water, and I just dumped those fish back in, and all of those fish were just dead, or at least they were shocked. They're all laying upside down, just like not moving at all. So that was pretty crazy. Anyways, my second story, which is the kind of closest I've got to death. Not this one's a kind of short story, so hopefully I'll try to go quick. It was actually, I was in Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada, sailing with my older brother and my dad and my grandpa and my uncle. And since none of us know how to sail, we had hired an actual sailor to kind of like actually sail. We were just kind of having fun. I was probably about 9, 10, and I really didn't like. I was just super happy that like I was able to go with my older brother, because you know usually he would be the one going, but it was luckily I was going with him. So I thought that was pretty cool. And we were on this sailboat, and this sailor is like talking about how he knows all the water, and how he knows like every little, like he knows all around the water. I don't know what he's some like old sailor. He was kind of crazy, no offense, but anyways, we were sailing, and all of a sudden he just slammed into this reef, and I was so scared. I was like, I think that's the most scared I've ever been in my entire life. I thought we were gonna sink, and the water where we were was so cold that you really couldn't swim it for that long. It was like apparently you could only swim it for like a minute or two before like passing out, just because it was so freezing, or maybe even like 30 seconds. I forget. but like if you put your hand in the water, your hand would just be freezing. It wasn't quite ice water, but it was extremely cold. Now that's kind of that story. It was kind of I wasn't that close to death because the boat actually ended up not having too much damage to it. But that was probably the most scared I've ever been. The next incident, actually, I really wasn't scared at all. I was like 7 or 8, but I think probably it's tied with the lightning one for closest to death, because I'll tell you in a minute, but let's just start off with the story. So I was at home getting babysat by this like 14-year-old girl, let's just say, and I was like 8 or 9, and my brother was also getting babysat by her, and my mom was just out doing something, and my dad was probably at work. Now, basically, my parents would never let me play darts, and we had this dartboard in the garage, and finally, you know, my parents were both out. Some girl was babysitting us. I knew she wouldn't be the boss of me, so I decided, you know, I'm gonna be all like bad. I'm gonna like be a rebel, go play some darts in the garage. You know, I'll be a big kid. And so I go into the garage, and this story is gonna like it's kind of a random how I almost died, I guess, but you'll see in a minute. So my brother sees me playing darts in the garage, and he goes to tell the babysitter, and the babysitter comes in there, and I'm just playing darts. She comes in there. I probably ask her to play with me, play some darts with me. She's probably like, no, you're not allowed to do this. And this is like extremely random, so I know it kind of doesn't really make sense, but like literally it was a 2-car garage, which is like decent, pretty big size, I'd say. And this like literally a car like came and ran into the garage. I don't know if this makes sense, but I was on one side of the garage with the babysitter, and like some car just like ran straight into the garage, and if it was just like a few feet to the side, it would have like went straight through us and just like ran us over. It was like basically my house was on the bottom of a hill, and there was a road going straight towards my house, and you could either turn left or right. And this woman, apparently her brakes wouldn't work, and she just decided to drive straight into my house, which was my garage. And so I was on the right side of my garage, and she drove right through the left side of my garage. Basically, I'm trying to like make this make sense as good as possible, but it's a little bit tricky, so I apologize for that. But hopefully this is kind of coming, like, hopefully you guys can understand this. So anyways, basically that happened, and like she wasn't drunk or anything, it wasn't drunk driving, but for some reason she was really scared or something like that, and she just left the car and like walked away. And then so there's just like cops and ambulances and fire trucks and all that, and so they thought that she like was drunk and like crashed, and then just, you know, decided to go off for a walk or something. But they found her, and it was just her brakes wouldn't work. It really wasn't her fault, and luckily insurance covered everything. No one actually got hurt except for that. No one got hurt, but that babysitter was scarred for life. I tell you, she's not babysitting ever again. She was like, that was her first time babysitting, and she's probably like still at home crying or something. No, I'm just kidding. But anyways, guys, that's it for today. I'm sorry my gameplay has already ended, but thanks for watching, and if you have any questions to ask for a new topic, feel free to comment down below and smash that like button. I will see you guys later. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.